having a good time, having a good time. I'm a shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like leaving.
Thank you for joining this Biden Victory Fund I Will Vote concert. And now, please welcome George Lopez and Ana Navarro.
Hola! Hello,
Hola.
George, and hello to the audience.
Hello, everybody that's joining us. Right now you can start donating. This is a grassroots concert. This is a grassroots event. We're trying to raise money for Joe and Kamala and all the Democrats across the board. Ana, you've already voted, right?
George, it was the most exciting thing ever. My husband got COVID, so I waited for him to get out of the hospital. Yesterday, we had happy hour. We filled out our ballots. We were sober, though, when we filled them out. But we made it fun, We made it a celebration. And today, we dropped it off in the ballot box. Mira, papi, I voted.
Qué bueno.
And Chacha went with us.
Mira, Chacha's got the swag on, wearing the thing. I'm going to vote. The NBA arenas are polling places, and people can go and vote there. And I'm going to vote this week at Dodger Stadium. They have it where you can just drop off. Hope they don't drop it like last night, the ball. But you can just drop it off. And thank God nobody's there because
it felt really safe dropping it off in the ballot box.
Right.
So they put this self-drop stamp on it, and they look at it. They checked it out with the ID. I mean, I felt like it's got a lot of integrity. That process. So I urge people to make a plan, just figure out how you're going to vote and get it done.
What about young people that don't think that the vote matters, or they're maybe, since they haven't voted before, not going to vote this election? It's important, isn't it? I mean, it's vital.
Listen, I think it's more important for young people than it is for anybody else, because they're the ones that are going to inherit this planet and be in this planet longer than any of us, right? And so if you're going to be in this planet for the next 80 years, you better worry about the environment, and you better worry about student loans, and you better worry about climate change. So for young people, really, their future is on the ballot, and it is at stake.
Well said. I realize how important this occasion is. I shaved. I look younger, huh?
I shaved too.
This is my double. The other one has the goatee. He's working the swing states. Yeah, this is good.
I got to tell you, I went to the JoeBiden.com, the merch store is terrific. And since I'm stuck at home, internet shopping, there ain't anything I haven't bought. I've got the hats, Beautiful. I've got the signs, I've got the mug, I've got dog swag, I've got I've got t-shirts, I've got everything. And so
about a fly swatter,
go to JoeBiden.com and go on the merchandise store and buy whatever they need to get them through the next 9 days.
Right. That's exactly right. So I'm honored to be with you. There's a lot of great performers that are going to be performing on a lot of our friends and a lot of special occasions that, all of us get together for this. But with the election just not even, 9 days away? And Latinos too, don't rest and don't think you can vote. It's important for us too. This is our country as well.
Listen, where I am, it's 8 o'clock Eastern. We are literally 8 days away from the election, and it's inspiring to see the way people are voting.
Right.
It felt good to vote. It felt cathartic. It felt emotional. For a little refugee girl from Nicaragua, the thought that I can vote in this great country always makes me emotional. I mean, not once have I voted that it's not a huge, significant moment for me.
Well, this is a country of immigrants, and, there's so much dissension amongst people, and we got a lot of stuff going on with immigration problems. But I think that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I think they're the team to change things back to, I don't want to say normal. I think we can do better than what we're doing right now.
And George, this concert tonight is so important. It's a get out the vote event. It's one where people should go to joebiden.com and donate whatever they can, $1, $2. You know, the other night at the debate, Donald Trump was all hung up on the fact that Joe Biden has out fundraised him, which is very strange to happen to an incumbent president. And the average donation is $49 for Joe Biden. So this is not a race. This is not a campaign that's being funded by big donors with special interests. It's you and me and everyday people donating $5 and $25 and $100.
If the average is $49, I got to get my check back and write another check. Hey, let's start. Let's introduce our first special guest, Ana.
Let's get it going. All right, so our first special guest really is special, and I hope she is. I hope she gets to the White House. I hope she graces us with her beauty inside and out, and her elegance and her class. And I'm talking about nobody other than Miss Jill Biden. Hopefully our next First Lady, Primera Dama. Where are you, Jill?
Wilmington, Delaware, in our home.
Jill, Joe, Cha-Cha has got Biden swag on and wants some recognition.
I don't blame.
Jill, we love you guys. We are so honored. We're so happy that we are getting so close to this. Jill, I've known you, I've interviewed you, and I realized that there's one thing I have never asked you. You've been married to Joe for 42, 43 years now. What made you fall in love with him? We've talked policy, we've talked education, but we've never talked about this. What is it that made you fall in love with Joe Biden?
When I met Joe.
Waiting to hear.
When I met Joe, it was the 70s. So you might not remember this, Ana, but it was long hair, bell bottoms, tie-dye shirts. And so Joe called me on a Saturday afternoon and said, "Hey, are you available to go out tonight?" And I said, "No, I have a date." And then he had the gall to say, "Well, do you think you could break it?" And I thought, well, he could be interesting. Who knows? One date. So Joe showed up at my door, and like I set it up, tie-dyes, guys are wearing clogs, long hair. So he shows up at the door. I opened the door. Oh my God, there was Joe in his perfect suit and his leather loafers. And I thought, thank God this is only one date. But he surprised me. I thought, he's like too old for me. And, this is it, just this one time. But he surprised me. I mean, he was thoughtful and he was kind and he was charming. I never expected it. So when we got back that night and we were standing at the door, and you know how women are, it's like, okay, what's going to happen? Are they going to get like a little hands-on, or what's going to happen here? So
it was the 70s.
It was the 70s, exactly. And so he totally shocked me because he said good night and he offered me his hand for a handshake.
Oh, wow.
And I was so taken back. I ran upstairs and I called my mother. It was 1:00 in the morning. And I said, "Mom, I finally met a gentleman." And it was things that made me fall in love with him. Joe has such strength. And I always admired how he was able to keep going after losing his wife and his baby daughter. And then I saw that we shared the same values, that his family, my family, we were middle-class families. And then I met Bo and Hunter. They were little boys. And, most of all, I fell in love with the boys. And Joe was second. Okay, so he was second. But so the boys, it was so cute. They went into Joe and they said, "Daddy, we want to marry Jill." And you know what? We went and we got married at the UN Chapel.
Well, this took a couple years, I might add.
Okay. So we went to the UN Chapel to get married, just our families, very small number of people. And Joe and I started walking up to the altar. And you know what? We looked behind and there are the boys. And so we got married, the four of us. I'm telling you, Anna, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful.
They walked up in the altar without being
Right
asked.
up on the altar. And
Jill,
so
what was your song? If I ask you, what is your song? What is it?
I love Rod Stewart's. If I tell you, have I told you lately that I love you? So a lot of times when Joe would get off the train coming home from the Senate, a lot of times I would put that on when he was walking in the door. When he had a rough day, or so. But I have to say, have you heard Jennifer Hudson's new song with will.i.am and the Black Eyed Peas? Where is the love? I mean, that has to be our new song because I love that so much. So I don't know whether you've heard it, but it is beautiful. It brought tears to our eyes.
When you said Rod Stewart, I thought you were going to say, if you think I'm sexy.
Well, that's not unreasonable to think, Anna. By the way, I had asked her 5 times to marry me. 5 times over the period of about 6-7
Perseverance is
months.
good on a precedent, okay? We're good.
Right. Hey, it's good to see you guys again. That's an amazing story. Jill, you're as charming and as beautiful as last time I saw you. Great. Hey, so you know that over 50 million people have already voted, which I think is inspiring for the country. Joe, there's going to be 8 days left. They wanted me to ask you, and I want to know, if someone is undecided or maybe thinking about not voting, why should they vote and why should they vote for you?
Well, first of all, the reason they should vote is that there's a lot on the ballot this year. I mean, this is the most consequential, not because I'm running, but because who I'm running against. This is the most consequential election in a long, long, long time. And the character of the country, in my view, is literally on the ballot. What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world. And the reason why I think people should be voting is out of their own self-interest right now. Because look, everything is at stake, from the environment to our health. You heard what his chief of staff, climate. Well, that's what I'm talking about: the environment, climate change, and the whole notion that our country is at an inflection point. The way every single one of us votes right now is going to determine the future for a long time, not just for 4 years, but well beyond that. And all these crises we're seeing today, all the chaos, this hardship and suffering, it didn't have to be this way. No. All this anger, division, and hate, in your bones, this is not who we are. And together we can change this. We're the United States of America. Character counts, truth matters. Hard work, having a plan to bring people together to get things done is the only way forward, in my view. So it's how hardworking people all across the country have always lived their lives. And it's how we come out of these hard times now as a nation, beating the virus, we can create millions of jobs. Yeah. We can build back a lot better than we are. And we have been. And I'm running to unite the country, bottom line, to embrace hope.
Joe, I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. You and I have known each other for 20 years. And I've never voted for you. This is actually because you were running in Delaware. And I really appreciate the way that you've made this a big tent and brought in people who are from the Republican Party or who are independent, who are Democrats. Thank you for that. Thank you for making us feel welcome and for reminding us that it's about being American above being of any party or any other label. Thank you for that.
We got to just
I can also say that I know you're going to be good to the Latino community because you've always been a friend to the Latino community. And
by the way, the Latino community can determine the outcome of this election across the nation. 20% of the country, 24 out of every 100 students in school today is a Latino. 24 out of every 100. It's incredible. And the idea that we have to embrace and include and generate the kind of support they can determine the outcome of this election. It's an enormous opportunity.
Latinos will have a seat at the table. We promise.
That's a guarantee. Well, there are going to be a lot in the administration too. So
Beautiful. Thank
But-
you. Well, you know what? Those are the best words. Thank you guys for stopping by and visiting us. It's great to see you both. You look so great.
kidding.
Anna,
Nice to see you.
Well, let's thank everybody who's
Yeah,
going to be on
thank
the concert.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Thank you
is.
so very, very much.
It is.
We're truly grateful.
Thank you.
Truly great.
Thank you for sharing yourselves with us tonight
beautiful stories.
and for running and for making, hopefully we'll make this a better country and a better future. But
For sure.
we're about to get a concert going, guys.
Let's do it.
Good. We're going to listen.
said you guys-
You're making us hear us with our granddaughters. They're all here. Not all. Several of them.
Good. So let me tell you who our first performer is. Aloe Black. She, the first performer grew up in Southern California, was raised, listen to this, George, was raised on salsa, merengue, and cumbia, and fell in love with hip hop as a kid. Please welcome Grammy-nominated artist, Aloe Black.
The song I'm gonna sing for you is a song about self-determination. It's a song about going for your goals no matter what obstacles stand in your way, living your best life. It's called My Way. I've been sad, I've been lost, I've been down and out and lonely. Yeah, I've been suffering at a job in a world that tries to own me. But when I wake up in the morning, there's an image of a better place. Yes, 'cause the harder that we grind, then the sweeter is the glory. People say I'm foolish. People say I'm blinded by faith. But if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care. I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this. You can throw the world in my face. But the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Hey. So put me down and criticize me with your lies and with your petty. Yeah, in the darkness I don't hide, 'cause I got pride that gives me clarity. See, I still wake up every morning with the image of a better life. Because the option of defeat is just not written in my story. People say I'm foolish. People say I'm blinded by faith. But if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care. I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this. You can throw the world in my face. But the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Hey. I'ma live my dreams. Gonna live my dreams. Even when the floods rush round to drown me, I just hold my breath and pray. Let me live my dreams. Every single one of my, I ain't quitting none of my dreams. People say I'm foolish. People say I'm blinded by faith. But if I run out of air, if I crash, I don't care. I'm gonna do it my way. I can make it through this. You can throw the world in my face. But the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, I'm gonna do it my way. Let me fly through the air, if I crash, I don't care. I'm gonna do it my way. 'Cause the fear gives me life, and I swear till I die, do it my way. Thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you to Aloe Black. And George, before we move on to the next performer, I want to remind people, you can go to joebiden.com and you can buy all sorts of cool merch. They got the greatest t-shirts. They've got mugs. They've got dog swag. they've got collars, they've got signs, they've got all sorts of things. I've got a hat, I've got a mug. There's some,
That's cool.
might or might not be coffee in here. There's, T-shirts, there's all sorts of things. Latinos for Biden, women for Biden. There's tote bags. There's some really cool stuff. So joebiden.com and go to the swag store to the store and you can get some great things.
Beautiful. All right. So we're going to be joined live by somebody who everybody is very familiar with. I've been trading messages with her this week. She's, a book author, comedian, great specials. She's got a show on Food Network. Let's welcome in Amy Schumer. We're not interrupting you, are we, Amy?
Oh, hi, George. Hi, Anna. No. Not at all. It is so great to be here with you guys. And I love Aloe Black. That was amazing. I've been calling voters across the country all day, just making sure that they're using their voice and using their vote. And I just wanted to share this really important message with all Americans, which is when you're phone banking, please, no matter what, just please don't wear pants. Okay? It's not necessary and it's ridiculous.
Well, I think I would have stayed married if I could have told my ex-wife, I'm just fixing my wire.
Well, that's your business, but that's fine. It's from my heart, please, no pants.
Hey, but it's important that people volunteer and not just take politics as just kind of something that belongs to someone else. Right, Amy?
Yeah. I think it's important that we all get involved. But if you take one lesson home with you tonight, if you're going to wear pants, fine. Just make sure it's sweatpants, it's something we can all agree is a gift from God. But just, don't be a psycho. Don't wear jeans. If somebody's wearing jeans while they're phone banking, I mean, I have no respect for that at all. I'm sorry. I'll say it.
I think you're right. I think sweats, the cummerbund was a great invention for men because it just made you, it was like a cover that you could lose 60 pounds if you get it around there.
Very flattering for men, cummerbund.
So how have you been during this quarantine and stuff? What have you been doing? Been handling?
Actually, I've been protesting with my community at Beetlebug Corner right here in Martha's Vineyard every day at 10:30, and we've all been getting out the word to vote for Biden and Kamala, and and I've picked up two things that are really essential, which is I learned how to cook and I am saving democracy. Just that's basically what I've been up to.
So what are you cooking? What are the things what are your favorite things to cook?
Okay, full disclosure between just you and me, and this is off the record, nothing. I like to just eat, but now I know how to cook. But if it's up to me, I will always be lying down, pantsless.
You sound like Rudy Giuliani.
Oh yeah, everybody has to see Borat.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, the first
so
one was
funny,
great.
Right?
Then you go 14 years, he comes back with this one. This one is really good.
It's even better than the first one.
Right. And it shows you that, I mean, so many times comedians get attacked for being politically incorrect, but it shows you that material or topics like that aren't taboo if you approach them intelligently.
Yeah. And it really just exposes what's already out there,
Right.
Exposes.
Yeah, that's a good point. You got me.
Well, if anybody's out there, there's 8 days before the election, you can still volunteer and you can still go out there and put signs up in your yard. Tell everybody that know your friends up to vote. And like we said, you can vote in person, you can vote by mail, or you can wait till the 3rd. But there's
and to volunteer, you can go to joebiden.com. You can register where you are, and you can do. Really, one of the beauties about this 2020 campaign is you can volunteer from anywhere. You can volunteer pantless from in front of your computer in your home while eating the recipes that Amy is making.
Your couch,
or pretending to.
Your table, your yacht, anywhere you can phone bank. It's easy. Yeah, joebiden.com/events. If you're wondering what can I do to help, you're sitting home and you don't want to regret that you didn't do everything you could. I know that's how I feel. So it's not too late. Do everything you can.
Well, thank you for being here. It's so much fun. It's already fun. Can you introduce our next performer, Amy?
Ooh, it is my great honor and pleasure. She's a friend of mine. You know this next performer. She's an award-winning singer-songwriter. Her hits are Love Song and Brave, and you know the hit musical Waitress. Well, we have her here tonight. So please give it up for the brilliant Sara Bareilles with her newest song, More Love.
Beautiful.
I believe in this country. I love this country. I am so proud to be an American. But I do not recognize us right now. And I deeply believe that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the leadership team that we need to help us find each other again. A vote in this election is vital. And a vote in this election for Biden-Harris is the one I'm going to make. I want more love. Open up my eyes to daylight in my new city, where maybe I will wander too far away from where I started. Open up my heart and break her. No gentle water, no anchor. I'm barely brave enough to keep breathing, but I believe in love. There is enough, so ask for more to fill you up. Nobody's keeping score. Do you know what you fight for? What you fight for? I want more love. In the dead of the dark, the hard times, all broken branches and lifelines. Remember, it's all a game, a grand design that you can't tame. Open up your eyes and cry, then mourn your child, your innocence, and turn around to face this playground and come with. There is enough, so ask for more to fill you up. Nobody's keeping score. Do you know what you fight for? What you fight for? I want more love. I want more love. I want more love. More love. I want more love. Biden-Harris 2020.
That was beautiful. And now we've got a really special video coming up from people who've known Joe Biden from the day they were born. They know him as their pop-ups, and it's the Biden grandchildren, Naomi, Finnegan, and Natalie Biden are going to speak to us right now.
Hey everyone, we're Joe Biden's granddaughters.
I'm Natalie. I'm Finnegan.
And I'm Naomi. We're so excited to join you tonight, and we're so proud of our pop and the campaign he's run. We're going to be doing everything we can over the final week to get out the vote, and we hope you'll join us. This whole election will come down to the choices we all make in these last few days. If you haven't voted yet, please text POLLS to 30330. Again, please text POLLS to 30330 to get the voting information you need sent straight to your phone. Make your plan to vote right now and make your voice heard.
And if you have already voted, thank you. Winning will also require all of us to mobilize our communities and give every spare moment we've got to this campaign. So please sign up for a shift at joebiden.com/events. You've given so much to this campaign, and we know with your help, you'll bring us home.
We might be biased, but Pop is obviously going to be a great president. He's kind to everyone he meets, and he's committed to this country, and he will be a president for all Americans. Plus, as you might have heard, he loves ice cream a lot. And I think that is a extremely great quality to have as an American president.
So let's win this election together. So from all of the Bidens, we're so thankful for your support.
So
Well,
great.
I love hearing about, they've got such a loving, beautiful, normal family. You can see that there's so much love. Yeah, I know. The concept is a little new to us, right?
Right. It's amazing. Oh man, I mean, it's just the whole vibe of them and the grandkids and everybody's just so loving, and we do need that right now. So I think that winning a Grammy is the highest honor that any songwriter, musician, producer, composer could have. This woman has done it all. She's an actress, and she is joining us, and she's a native of Ohio. So everybody, please welcome Macy Gray. Welcome, Macy.
Games, changes, and fears. When will they go from here? When will they stop? I believe fate has brought us here, and we should be together, baby, but we're not. And I play it off like I'm dreaming of you. Keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I walk away and I stumble. I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near. Goodbye and I'm choking. I walk away and I stumble. I try to hide it, but it's clear. I crumble when you are not near. I may appear to be free, but I'm just a prisoner of your love. And I may seem alright, smile when you leave, but my smiles are just a front, just a front. And I play it off bottom, dreaming of you, and I keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I walk away, I try to hide it, but it's clear. I crumble when you are not near. Goodbye and I'm choking. I walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. Crumble when you are not near. Here is my confession. May I be your possession. Boy, I need your touch, your love kisses and such. With all my might I try. This I can't deny. Playing off bottom, I'm dreaming of you, and I keep my cool, but I'm feeling. I try to say goodbye and I choke. I walk away. I crumble when you are not near. See, everything's gonna be alright, and everything's gonna be alright. No more tears in the house tonight, because everything's gonna be alright, and there'll be no crying. Hey, 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 hey. Goodbye and I choke. I walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear. My world crumbles when you are not near. All right. Woo! Thank you. Oh, yes.
Boy, thank you, Macy Gray. Thank you, Macy Gray. What an amazing voice, how touching it is. And now we're moving on to one of my favorite guys, a friend of mine, somebody I admire greatly. He is an actor. He's an immigrant to this country. But like so many of us immigrants, he loves this country deeply and is so involved in its democracy. So bienvenido, Jaime Camillo.
Anita,
Hola,
gracias,
Jaime.
thank you. George, your hair game is strong, man. Qué bueno que el pelo está bien, eh?
Hey, I'm coming after you, man. You know, you passed me in the game, but apparently you found the fountain of youth. I still keep looking for it.
I love you guys. How are you? Listen, just for you know, Ana, Eva Longoria and I, we agree on something. We want Jill to be our first lady. So, you know, voting for Joe is just like a process. Like we have to vote for him because we love Jill and we want Jill to be in the White House.
I agree with you.
I agree. Okay, wait a minute. That
No,
was
it's
fun,
very
huh?
important,
They're
guys.
beautiful.
They're beautiful. I love them. And tonight is so special. We're having, you know, this concert is amazing. And I love the fact that we, as the minority, quote unquote, we have the power to decide who we want to be inside of the Oval Office, like immigrants, los Latinos, los Hispanos. We can decide this. It is incredible. And we really need to recalibrate the moral, the ethical compass of this country because someone grabbed it and threw it to the floor and stepped on it. And it's just enough division, enough hate. We need someone as empathetic and that has, you know, this care for everyone, like Joe in the White House, to, you know, to bring back the soul of the nation.
And I loved hearing from them how, you know, there's going to be Latinos at the table and not just serving the table, but actually at the table, eating and opining and having a voice and, you know, saying their piece. So, you know, that, you know, not like now where some people, you know, just think that there's nothing but serving going on. But anyways, I digress. Jaime, you have a great introduction that you need to make.
Oh
now,
my God.
a special one.
Yes, I don't know. Somebody got the wrong memo because I'm introducing the next performer and I'm a big fan. And I'm honored to introduce our next performer. He's the first African-American man to win the EGOT, which is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. He's also widely known for his charitable efforts with a strong commitment to education reform and ending racial injustice. Please welcome the legendary John Legend.
We shall overcome. It's more than a protest song. It's a promise to those who would oppress us that we're here. We matter, and together we will fight for what is right and just. The great John Lewis said this song gave him and his fellow civil rights demonstrators a sense of faith, a sense of strength to continue to struggle, to continue to push on. It's long past time that we tear down the broken systems this country was founded upon and begin to heal, reimagining a whole and equal society where you aren't disadvantaged, locked up, or killed just because of the color of your skin. We must stay united and push on, continuing the momentum and building even louder the chorus of voices saying that Black Lives Matter. And I hope this song inspires you, as it does me, to continue speaking out, marching, and working in your communities. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart. Oh, I do believe we shall overcome someday. We shall live in peace. We shall live in peace. shall live in peace someday. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Dave Matthews here. Be redundant. Say, please vote. Vote early. Vote however you can. Encourage everyone you know to vote. And please encourage everyone you know and be encouraged to vote for Joe Biden. It's the fork in the road, and that's the only choice, in my opinion. The other choice is unthinkable. I cannot imagine. Vote for Joe, everybody. Don't give up, I know you can see all the world and the mess that we're making. Can't give up and hope God will intercede. Come on back, imagine that we could get it together. Stand up for what we need to be. 'Cause crying won't save or feed a hungry child. Can't lay down and wait for some miracle to change things. So lift up your eyes, lift up your heart, singing, mercy will we overcome this. Oh, one by one could we turn it around. Maybe carry on just a little bit longer. I try to give you what you need. Me and you and you and you, I just wanna be free, yeah, yeah. But you see, all the world is just as we've made it. And until we got a new world, I got to say that love is not a whisper or a weakness. No, love is strong. So we got to get together. Yeah, we gotta get till there is no reason to fight. Mercy, will we overcome this? Oh, one by one, could we turn it around? Maybe carry on just a little bit longer. I'll try to give you what you need. Lift up your eyes, lift up your heart, singing, mercy, will we overcome this? Or have we gone too far to turn it around? Do we ask too much to be a little bit stronger? I wanna give you, oh, mercy, what will become of us? Oh, one by one, could we turn it around? Maybe carry on just a little bit longer. I wanna give you, I try to give you what you need. Lift up your eyes, lift up your heart. Vote for Joe Biden. Vote for sanity.
That was great.
It was terrific. Dave Matthews lending his talent. Thank you.
No wonder that guy sells out all his shows. So our next guest now is from Dallas. He's a young man. He's an activist. He's a comedian. He's an actor. Hey, let's welcome in everybody, Mr. Nick Dodani. Nick.
Hello. How's it going, guys?
Good, dude.
Hi.
Let me ask you a question. You're a young man. You're a young actor in the business. You're a young guy from Dallas. Very great, important state of the election. How did you become an activist, and how did you become involved in politics?
Well, I'm born in Dallas. I grew up in Arizona, and I'm a gay brown guy. So being an activist is kind of like the only option, I'm pretty sure when my parents were in India deciding where to move, they were like, where will it be hardest for our son to grow up? And now I'm here.
So Nick, that sweatshirt you're wearing, is that Kamala? Is that vote for Auntie Kamala?
It's Kamala
I love
Auntie,
it.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's the first Black and first South Asian woman to be on a major presidential ticket. Exciting stuff.
I was going to wait till later, but in 2008, 2007, when I would perform at the Paramount in Oakland, Kamala came and she brought her mother, and her mother and I became very friendly in the short time that we knew each other. And she was an amazing, amazing person, a doctor, like a scientist, down with the roots of you raise your kids with decency, with morality, you raise them as good people, and then you're not afraid to, put a little discipline in there occasionally. Fantastic woman.
Nick, and you created a video about this. You created a video about the significance, the historical significance of this ticket called Brown and Down. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. It's just a funny little video featuring some of the, dopest South Asian people. It's coming out tomorrow, I think. And it's all of us just, on a call together, talking about how excited we are. I mean, we had the chance to send an auntie to the White House. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the party? The Diwali party next year?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, I'm claiming part of her too. Okay, she's a child of immigrants, and she's the other half is from the Caribbean. So I'm laying some claim to her too. I love Kamala Harris and how inclusive she is, and how many glass ceilings she's breaking with this candidacy. She talks about it all the time. Where her mom said to her, "You may be the first, but make sure you're not the last." I love that so much.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Well,
hey, Nick, will you introduce our next performer, please?
Yes, absolutely. It's my honor to. The next guy is such a sweet and kind human. You know and love him as the original Evan Hansen on Broadway's Dear Evan Hansen. He's soon going to be the Evan to my Jared in the Dear Evan Hansen film. Please welcome Ben Platt.
You say there's so much you don't know. You need to go and find yourself. You say you'd rather be alone, 'cause you think you won't find it tied to someone else. Who said it's true that the growing only happens on your own? They don't know me and you. I don't think you have to leave. If to change is what you need, you can change right next to me. When you're high, I'll take the lows. You can ebb and I can flow, and we'll take it slow and grow as we go. Grow as we go. Oh, you won't be the only one. I am unfinished, I've got so much left to learn. I don't know how this river runs, but I'd like the company through every twist and turn. Who said it's true that the growing only happens on your own? They don't know me and you. You don't ever have to leave. If to change is what you need, you can change right next to me. When you're high, I'll take the lows. You can ebb and I can flow, and we'll take it slow and grow as we go. grow as we go. Whoa, grow as we go. Ooh, grow as we go. Whoa. I don't know who we'll become. I can't promise, it's not written in the stars. But I believe that when it's done, we're gonna see that it was better that we grew up together. Tell me you don't wanna leave. If to change is what you need, you can change right next to me. When you're high, I'll take the lows. You can ebb and I can flow, and we'll take it slow and grow as we go. Grow as we go. Whoa. Grow as we go. Oh, grow as we go. Oh.
When it comes to our democracy, the room where it happens is in the voting booth. The COVID-19 pandemic has been tough for everyone, but it has been especially hard for Latinos across our country. From New York City to San Juan, from Miami to San Antonio, every single day, our people are dying at a disproportionate rate from a virus our country should have contained long ago. Instead, our president downplayed it. By his own admission, he lied about it. And 6 months later, he still has no plan to bring an end to this national tragedy. I'm devastated, but I'm not surprised, because Puerto Ricanos have seen this story before. When Hurricane Maria devastated Puerto Rico, what did the President of the United States do to help these American citizens, these human beings, when they needed him most? Nothing. He threw paper towels at us in San Juan. In fact, he asked his cabinet if the United States could sell Puerto Rico. But our Constitution, imperfect as it is, has left us with a path out of this devastation: to reject President Trump and elect a president who will celebrate, not denigrate, our community and our country. In Joe Biden, we have a leader who spent his life fighting for the American people. A leader who values faith, family, and community. A leader running on hope, ready to rebuild back a better America. An America we can create together. But first we need to vote, and then we can make the difference. I'm looking at you, the 27 million eligible Latino voters in our country. I'm looking at you, my fellow Boricuas. In 2016, Donald Trump won Florida by around 100,000 votes. Guess how many Puerto Ricans live in that state? More than 1 million. So this November, we can be the ones to turn this country around, telling all of our friends and all of our family members to do their part in making sure Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are the next president and vice president of the United States of America. God bless you. Muchas gracias.
That guy is brilliant, and everything he's done has been amazing. So that was an inspiring tape that he did for us. But, you know, if you want to get involved politically, if you want to be part of what's going on tonight, you want to be part of what's going on between now and the time of the election, you can donate and you can feel like you're part of the system. You can vote and you can donate it. And if you go to the store, Anna, what can they get? You can donate right now.
George, they can get mugs, they can get dog swag, they can get t-shirts, they can get tote bags, they can get water bottles, they can get anything, they can get posters, they can get anything they want. They can donate, they can volunteer. So JoeBiden.com, go there and make a donation because it's important. And now we've got a really special performance coming up. This iconic singer is widely known for her inspirational single, Rise Up. And she's starring in an upcoming biographical drama film, which sounds so good, The United States versus Billie Holiday. Please give a round of virtual applause to Andra Day, who's here to sing Make Your Troubles Go Away by voting against Donald Trump.
One night, does that work in time? 'Cause I want more of you, even when I'm at your side. I wish I could take your pain, but I can't help you stay. I try to bring a soothing ray to every song and dance, but staying out all night won't make your troubles go away. Crying, starting a fight won't make your troubles go away. You've been looking for the quick fix, and it's leaving you helpless. But I would give you all of me to make your troubles go away. You have so much, but nothing all the same. My heart and my life for what I have to offer. I'll even kiss them to the sky, then to you I hand them over. But staying out all night won't make your troubles go away. Crying, starting a fight won't make your troubles go away. You've been looking for the quick fix, and it's leaving you helpless. But I would give you all of me to make your troubles go away. You don't have to hide from me. I've seen the gruesome scenery, and I still have my hands out. I'll only give you everything. Staying out all night won't make your troubles go away. Crying, starting a fight won't make your troubles go away. You've been looking for the quick fix, and it's leaving you helpless. But I would give you all of me to make your troubles all go away. To make your troubles go away. Thank you so much. Peace and blessings to you all.
Hi everybody, it's Lala Anthony, and it is an honor to introduce someone I love and admire so much. But first I want to talk about the importance of voting. You must get out and vote and let your voice be heard. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris understand that working families are the backbone of this country. They know what it takes to save lives, create good jobs, and heal our divide. And what's most important to me is that they know that everyone, black or white, rich or poor, immigrant or native born, belong here, and we are in this together. So while you're enjoying the music, make sure you text polls to 30330 to make your voting plan. It is so important. Vote, vote, vote. And now, without further ado, my best friend, who I know is going to shut it down, performing Level Up. Give it up for Sierra.
It's time to level up. Express yourself. It's time to level up. Be heard. It's time to level up and be bold. It's time to level up and make change. It's time to level up and vote.
Level up, 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 level up.
5, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Them old mistakes are gone, I won't do them no more. That's old news, that's new news, I done did that before. I turn nothing to something, my comeback on 100. Let's talk it, more action, you just gon' see coming. I just keep elevating, no losses, just upgrading. My lessons made blessings, I turn that into money. They gotta never settle, this view is so much better. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. Oh, you can talk all you want. See me, I see prayed up, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can have it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Fake friends get dropped like weight. Team love don't want no hate. I'm grinding, I'm shining, up, I'm on my way. They gotta never settle, this view is so much better. I'm chilling, I'm winning, like on another level. Oh, you can talk all you want. See me, I see prayed up, nothing I'm afraid of, and I can have it all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. All this sauce so level, on another level. Elevate your level, level. Graduate your level, there's no one on it. Nah. Hey, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, 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 level up. Watch me, watch me, watch me, watch me. Let go! Level up, 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 level up. All this so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, level up, and vote.
Man, that was wonderful. George, when I grow up, I want to be part of the lab. Those backup singers were impressive.
Amazing.
So thank you to Ciara and to the lab for gracing us with such talent tonight.
It's great. You know, I told you, I went on my Facebook, Joe Biden's account, and we're streaming and everybody's enjoying the show and very positive comments from everyone. So thank you, everybody who's tuning in and who's donating. We want to thank you. You don't have to donate.
You can watch it on Joe Biden on Facebook streaming. You can, go donate at joebiden.com, guys. This is so important. These next 8 days, having the funds to be able to have the on-the-ground operations in the different swing states. 8 days matter so much.
Right.
And if you need to, and if we are going to need to defend the vote, it matters even more to have the funding. So go donate. Any amount matters.
You're not looking for a lot of money, so you're helping Joe, Kamala, you're helping all the Democrats that are running for office in a very important election. So I think one of the signs that somebody's made it is when they can introduce you by just, not your full name, but just one word. You know, we go, this woman right here, nominated for a Grammy. She's an activist, she's been a comedian, she's an actress. She's amazing. Cho, Margaret Cho. What's up, Margaret?
Hey, I miss you. I miss you both. How are you?
Hey, Miss Margaret.
Hi.
Hey, Margaret, we've known each other we've known each other almost like 30 years now.
It's been 30 years, and it's really incredible. And I'm so excited to be able to do this with you, to share this moment with you. It's a historic moment. This is an incredible time, and I'm so grateful that we get to do this together.
Yeah, I know, no community should feel left out in the United States. There's been a lot of division. We all know that. What I like about you is that you're anti-bullying, gay rights, that you've used the platform to get involved. And a lot of times comedians that, they don't want to get involved.
Well, I think that it's really important. And a lot of this time I've been spending right now talking a lot to Asian American voters. And we also have a lot of separation within our communities because we're all from different countries, and the one thing that keeps us all united is that we all wash our rice 1 cup at a time. And really, in all of our communities, I'm not just talking to rice eaters, I'm talking to all the carbohydrates. Whether you have your rice with chicken or you have your rice with beans, whatever you eat your rice with, whether you like it with bread, whatever, if you have all carbs, if you have no carbs, I'm here for it. We're all here together. We all need calories. We're all Americans.
Let me ask you a question. When did brown rice show up? Because growing up, I don't remember really seeing brown rice.
Well, brown rice, I don't know. It showed up around, I'm not sure. It seems like it's like a 60s thing. It seemed like that's sort of like a 60s when people started getting really, really healthy or something.
Right.
I think that was sort of a 60s, brown rice seems to be like around the same time as people started exercising and doing yoga. For some reason.
So if we're going to do rice, can you both please address wild rice for me? Because I still don't get it. Every time I try that thing still, no matter how much I cook it, it's like sticks.
Yeah, it gets stuck in my teeth.
That's hilarious.
I'm not sure.
I think it's maybe a way of just like not really cleaning the rice 1 cup at a time. And if a stick gets in there, you're like, hey man, that's wild rice.
We don't know it's rice gone wild. They're husks.
And
we don't know what it's going to do.
And it seems like it's easy to make. Rice is not, the proper rice is not easy to make.
No.
George, you need a cooker. You need a cooker. Don't try to do it. Yeah. Don't try to get that. You don't do it on the stovetop. You got to do it in a cooker. I have like 6 rice cookers.
Oh, no. I'm a stovetop rice cooker on a daily.
Oh, really?
You guys, this takes no science. I mean, really, guacamole and white rice, you should be able to do blindfolded. Brown rice,
I do guacamole in a mocotete.
Huh?
I do guacamole in a mocotete. I do it with the granite bowl with I crush. I don't chop with guacamole. I know enough. I've been in Southern California for long enough to know I have respect for the culture enough to use the mortar and pestle technique. Respect.
I just want to say that when Asian women can reach out to the Latino community and use a molcajete to make guacamole the proper way, then I think this country is headed in the right direction.
That's right. We really are. We're coming together.
I was having a huge, I had a fight the other day with Eva Longoria, who thinks it should be white onion instead of red onion in guacamole. And I was like, what? I mean, really, what kind of Mexican American are you? I want your card back.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, that's kind of a harsh allium for her to want to use. I mean, because it's got to be a red onion. A red onion you need to eat raw. I don't understand that either. I think you and I have to go over her. We need to stage an intervention with her.
An intervention.
I think maybe it's
an onion intervention.
Have you voted, Margaret? Have you voted already?
I have voted, and I got my ballot tracks verification because I voted by mail in California. So when you do that here, you can get your ballot tracked. So they've received it, which I was so excited about. So I'm done, and yes. So my vote is counted, or it's there. So I'm very excited. Beautiful.
Margaret, will you introduce our next performer? And it's fantastic to see you look so beautiful.
I love you so much. And yes, I'm actually introducing two, the performer next and then the person afterwards. But the performer next is the amazing singer, songwriter, rapper, creator, A$AP Ferg. And then after A$AP Ferg is the incredible Billy Porter. But A$AP Ferg is here to perform, work, to remind us how much we need to work for our democracy. So please welcome A$AP Ferg.
I gotta close the window before I record, cause New York don't know how to be quiet. Stand up. Third.
Oh, Gucci down to the socks like a Biggie Pop. But really though, she a silly. Cause you know that Frankenstein getting plenty dough. She don't get nothing from a dough. What she get is hard and some Cheerios. Kinda silly dough, but I'll never go. But I put them in the dirt with the penny lows. No tint dough on a window. See her, pulling in the Benzo. Yeah. Feeling like Jim Jones, I'm a pimp though, no limp though. Could they copy my style and Kinko's? Put in, run up on the killer, then I put them in a, run up in the building, so they gon' that's what a killer get when they getting on my nerves up. Lame on the curve, ride on the killer who be coming that fur, damn. Hey, put in work, Flacco, put him in the, Prince got the shovel, he gon' put him in the earth, Trinidad, Maniac, with it all go. Yeah, put in, Schoolboy Q with a pound of the perk. So much work, he'll smoke up the earth. Polo Grounds, A$AP, put in work. Biden, put in work. Kamala, put in work.
As a black, queer, cisgendered man, I march in celebration for how far we've come and in protest for how far we have to go. So remember to get out and vote this November and make your voices heard. There's something happening here, but it ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I got to beware. I think it's time we stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their mind, getting so much resistance from behind. We better stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Whoa. Afraid you step out of line, the men come and take you away. We better stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Stop. Hey, look around. Everybody knows what's going down. Stop. Hey, look around. Everybody knows what's going down. Down, down, down. We need a change. Change.
106, Mark.
Hey y'all, I'm Maren Morris. I'm a singer-songwriter, a businesswoman, and a proud Texan now living in Nashville, Tennessee. Coming from a Southern family with a conservative background throughout my childhood, I was always taught to treat people with respect and dignity, no matter their race, their religion, their sexual orientation, and yes, even their political party. But like a lot of us, I've been in perpetual shock watching what's happened to our country these last few years. We've been divided and pitted against one another. We've seen the forces of hatred not just reserved for the awkward Thanksgiving dinner conversation with a crazy relative once a year, but out in the open, encouraged and supported by the President of the United States. As the world was starting to shut down from COVID-19 in late March, I was blessed to give birth to a baby boy, my son, Hayes. As a new mom, I recognized quickly so many things in me that had changed. It wasn't about just me anymore. It was about him and all of our children's futures in this country. What will they make of this moment 20 years from now? Overcome by this premise of creating something worth leaving behind, I recently wrote a song called Better Than We Found It that I released just a few weeks ago. Now, I live in the world of country music, which has always been about telling the truth. And just like I believe that country music is for everyone, so is this country. This song is for the immigrants who call our country home, yet are made to feel as if they aren't welcome. Our LGBTQIA community who are seeing their basic human rights sit on the chopping block of this election's outcome. And Black Americans who are simply asking to have their humanity matter, like everyone else, yet fear for their lives when they go for a jog or even go to sleep in their own bed. And it's about those of us who have the civic responsibility to do everything we can to make our country better by saying, we are better than this. It isn't a punishment, it's a plea. I voted early for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and for Democrats down the ticket here in Tennessee because we need leadership that is kind, compassionate, and that cares. Leadership that will unite us to overcome this pandemic, to put us back to work again, end systemic racism, and work every day to ensure we leave this world to our kids in better shape than we found it. So listen up. I need you to join me. Go to iwillvote.com right now and make your plan to vote. We have already seen record early turnout, and it is obvious that Americans are hungry for a better future. But we've got to keep this momentum going. Let's make sure that when all our votes are counted on November 3rd, our voices are heard and our message is unmistakable. It's time we tell someone that he's fired. And let's elect a president and vice president who believe in the best of what America can be and who will work every day to ensure that we, once again, stand united, because divided we fall. Thank you.
Thank you to Maren Morris for those remarks. And, you know, she says it's time to tell somebody that they're fired. This is Cha-Cha's chew toy.
Is that
She's chewed all the way through his neck.
They made, oh my, she has chewed into this.
So, okay, put up the candy corn.
You know, when I was a kid, I looked like Mr. Potato Head. I had to live with that for a long time, but I think I've been dethroned. You know, as much as there's disposable candy corn, this is brilliant. I don't, you know, during the pandemic, of course, we have a lot of free time, but that is genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever.
That takes talent, okay? That's miniature. But listen, I've got a great honor, which is I get to introduce somebody who I love. His wife might break glass ceilings, but so will he. He would become the second man. I don't know. I don't think he's second at anything. And let me tell you this, George, because you've got a daughter. Women should always find themselves a man who allows them to soar and celebrates their successes, not tries to clip their wings. And Doug Emhoff is just such a man. The way he is supporting Kamala, the way that he is participating in this campaign, hustling out there, working so hard. Jaime Camil was saying he can't wait to see Jill Biden in the White House. I can't wait to see Doug Emhoff in this role and break those ceilings and really show what a supportive spouse should be. So with that, let's hear from Doug, Dougie, as Kamala calls him.
Hey everyone, it's Doug Emhoff. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, and thanks for all the work you've done to move this campaign and our country forward. Over the past few months, I've gotten to know a lot of you. I've talked to folks who are giving their time, making calls, texting friends and family. You are safely knocking on doors and making sure our communities make their voices heard. Simply put, you are powering this campaign. Over the next few days, we're going to need you more than ever. So if you haven't voted yet, make a plan to vote. Do it now. Just text polls to 30330. This campaign is going to be close, and we don't have a moment to waste. And if you can, volunteer more time between now and when polls close on Election Day. We'd really appreciate that. Just go to joebiden.com/events to sign up for a shift. Lastly, if you can, please consider chipping in a final donation or buying a t-shirt or an item from the online store to help elect Joe, Kamala, and Democrats up and down the ballot. Watching Joe and Kamala on this campaign together has been incredible. And I just know they're going to make a great team in the White House. But they can't do this without you. We have to do this together. Thanks so much.
Very kind gentleman. And it's really kind of an exciting night. I mean, you know, we're hosting together, but tuning into Facebook and seeing the responses from people, I think they're digging what's happening tonight.
Yeah, somebody said that we need to stop talking about rice and get share on. Meeting, espérense, wait your turn, go donate, and then ask me for share.
Well, our next person here who's going to show up is just somebody that's just so elegant, so beautiful, the Academy Award-winning actress. You could do all the credits, but let's welcome in Dame Helen Mirren.
Hello, everybody. What a great night. What an incredible, talented night. I've been sitting here just sort of rocking out and just having a really great time. And I've learned how to make guacamole, which is always very, very useful.
But I was watching your Instagram the other day. I could not believe the Queen is now a U.S. citizen living in Nevada, which you have learned to pronounce beautifully.
Nevada. Oh yeah, got to be Nevada. Of course, I'm English. I want to say Nevada, but I keep reminding myself, no, it's got to be Nevada. I want to talk tonight to the first-time voters because I'm a first-time voter. I mean, I'm an old person, older than probably a lot of the audience, but I am a first-time voter. I'm a first-time American voter, and it was so exciting to me to be able to cast my vote. I became an American citizen about 2 or 3 years ago. My husband's American. Most of my family live in America. So I am an honorary American and finally an American citizen, and therefore able to vote in one of the most important elections to be seen in America in the 20th, 21st centuries. So I count myself as very, very lucky to be able to post my vote, which I did in person. I voted early. And I just want to really encourage all the beautiful young people watching this program, because they've had so many great artists to watch tonight, but also the older people like myself, many of whom may be like myself, maybe haven't voted before or don't vote that often. This one is a really important one. I think it's important for the soul of America, for the character of America. And speaking as a foreigner, you know, an outsider, as I was for many years looking at America, you know, we in Europe have always thought of as America as a leader in the world, as a community, a democracy to look up to. And I'm so afraid that is really being challenged now. So I do feel very strongly about people getting out to vote. I just want to add again to remind everybody out there, if you haven't decided, haven't yet voted, and you want to make a plan, then text polls, that's POLLS, to 30330. Text polls to 30330. And that Like that, you can find out how and where you can vote. And then please make your vote heard.
Well said, love. Well said.
Well, I know you've heard it before, but this election is going to be very close, and we're all aware of that. And so, all the more important to find our energy to get up on the day or before. Early voting is fantastic. Mail-in voting, if that's the only opportunity available to you, and just make sure you do it.
Absolutely. Will you introduce our next performance, Helen?
Love to. It's my great honor. I'm so pleased to be able to introduce the next performer. He is an Emmy and Golden Globe winning actor and musician, who many of you may remember from the TV series of Glee. Here to perform a song from one of my favorite bands, of course, on both sides of the Atlantic, please welcome Darren Criss singing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles.
Hello, everybody. Hi. Oh, man, thank you so much for having me be a part of this. I feel so honored to be included in this group and to be a part of this community. I see some familiar friends and faces, but I also see some folks that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting, but I am nonetheless an admirer of, and I just wanted to thank everybody here for their dedication and commitment to this campaign and for all of their hard work and for all of their inspiration that they have given me. So, again, it's a privilege to be here. Thank you so very much. When thinking of doing a song for something like this, you want to think of something that's familiar to people, but also something that can perhaps offer a different context in the way that you listen to it. And in light of a lot of the anger and frustration that a lot of us have felt in the past several years, and certainly the past several months, I thought that I would offer this song of hope, and a song that is about looking forward to something and welcoming in the light at the end of a bleak tunnel. So this is my offering to that to that vibe, and it's by the late great George Harrison. Thanks again for having me. Here comes the sun. Do, do, do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do, do, do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do, do, do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. But here comes the sun, do, do, do. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. It's alright. Here comes the sun, do, do, do. Here comes the sun, yeah, it's alright. It's alright.
it's alright. It's alright.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm John Bon Jovi. There cannot be more at stake in this election, so we all need to do what we can and get out the vote. If you haven't voted yet, please make your plan right now. To find out where you can vote in person or return your mail ballot, text POLLS to 30330 and get your voting locations texted right back to you. If you've already voted or you've got your plan, we need you to volunteer. You can sign up for a shift at joebiden.com/events. We all know that this race is going to be incredibly close, and it's going to take all of us to elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I'm voting for leadership and vision. They know what it'll take to build this country back better. So don't listen to the hype. Don't listen to the polls. We've all got to put our heads down, do the work, and bring this election home. So I'm asking you, make a plan, vote, volunteer. I thank you.
They're shutting down the borders, and they're boarding up the schools. Small towns are rolling up the sidewalks. One last paycheck coming through. I know you're feeling kind of nervous, but all a little bit confused. Nothing's the same, this ain't a game. We've gotta make it through. When you can't do what you do, you do what you can. This ain't my prayer, it's just a thought I'm wanting to send. Down here we never don't break. Down here we all understand. If you can't do what you do, you do what you can. The chicken farm from Arkansas brought workers PPE. Night before 500 more had succumbed to this disease. Honest men and honest women working for an honest wage. I've got 100.1 fever. We still got bills to pay. You can't do what you do. You do what you can. This ain't my prayer, it's just a thought I'm wanting to send. Round here we never don't pray. Down here we all understand. When you can't do what you do, you do what you can. They built a hospital on East Meadow in Central Park last night. Doctors, nurses, truckers, grocery store clerks, man in the front line. I saw a Red Cross on the Hudson, reaching off the Broadway lights. Another ambulance screams by. There by the grace of God. Although I'll keep my social distance, what this world needs is a hug. Till we find a vaccination, there's no substitute for love. So love yourself, love your family, love your neighbor and your friend. Ain't it time we love the stranger, they're just a friend you ain't met yet. When you can't do what you do, you do what you can. This ain't my prayer, it's just a thought I'm wanting to send. Round here we never don't break. Down here we all understand. When you can't do what you do, you do what you can. When you can't do what you do, you do what you can.
Bon Jovi still got it. Looks good.
George, and you know we've got a very special introduction. By the way, before we go into that though, the Joe Biden store was selling fly swatters. It says, truth over flies. And you can multitask. You can use it to swat flies off people's heads. You can use it as a fan. I think you can use it as a spatula. I mean, really. JoeBiden.com and the merchandise store. Fly swatters.
That's hilarious.
Okay,
I'm ordering mine right now.
Flies are making America great again. Nominate the fly for the Nobel Peace Prize. But anyways, who are you introducing now?
No, I want you to do it. You see her a lot.
No, we're introducing Kamala Harris's video.
All right.
And it's very special. You've known her for a long time. You know, you told me that you were friends with her mom and that her mom would come to your shows. I thought you were pulling my leg. And so when I first met Kamala, I said, you know, George Lopez is a friend of mine and says your mom would come to his shows and then they would stay up until 2 and 3 in the morning talking. And she started laughing and she said, it's true. They were friends. They loved each other. And I love Kamala. I love that she is the child of immigrants. I love that she is African-American, that she is, from Southeast Asia, that she's broken so many glass ceilings throughout her life, and that she remembers the wise words from her mom. Be the first, but make sure you're not the last. I tell you, I'm so proud of the campaign she's waged. I'm so proud every time I see her in the Senate making people squirm and, asking questions in the Judiciary Committee. She's brilliant, but she's also grounded and accessible. But you've known her for years.
You know, I started to help her. I met her through Tony West, who's I think her brother-in-law. And then we started getting involved in the Barack Obama campaign. He reached out personally. So that's when I met Joe and Jill. Then I stayed connected to Kamala. And then when she ran for Attorney General in California, I think Anthony Anderson, who's also, very active politically, he and I went to an event and helped her start fundraising for that. So to know that she's this close to becoming our first female vice president, who has an incredible family, and to know that when I sat with her mom at the Paramount Theater in Oakland and held hands with her, and they would say, Mom, leave her alone, leave him alone, it's time to go. And we stayed there way beyond the time anybody would have left. That those are the moments that I would cherish so much, because that person that I met and that person who her mom was so proud of is still the person that we're seeing today.
And so with that, let's bring in the Kamala Harris video. Let's hear from Kamala herself. Dale, Mamala.
Hey everyone, it's Kamala Harris. First of all, I want to thank all the performers and special guests who are participating in tonight's concert, as well as everyone watching right now who signed up and donated to support Joe and me and Democrats everywhere. To George and Anna, thank you so much for hosting tonight. George, I have to tell you, my mother would love the fact you're doing this for the campaign. She was so fond of you. So here's the thing, guys. We are almost a week away from the biggest election of our lifetimes, an election that will determine America's future. And if, like me, you're one of the millions of Americans who have already voted, thank you for being among the first voters to move our country forward. Since early voting started, I've been so inspired by the energy we've seen at polling places around the country. We are rising up, making our voices heard, and saying loudly and clearly that we choose a brighter future. We are voting for so many reasons: to contain this virus, put families first, put working families first, and build our economy back better. We are voting to protect our health care, take on climate change, and return dignity, decency, and integrity to the White House. But our work on this campaign is not over. Let me be very clear, the hardest part of this election is right in front of us. So if you haven't voted yet, please make your plan to vote. Write down when, where, and how you will vote. And then ask your friends and family to do the same. You can also text POLLS at POLLS to 30330 to get all the information you need. And then vote like your life and our democracy depend on it, because they do. I also hope you'll continue to support Democrats up and down the ballot, whether that means donating a few extra dollars or volunteering your time during a Get Out the Vote shift. We need to mobilize our communities like we have never done before, and it's going to take all of us talking to our neighbors, one call, text, or conversation at a time. So please click onto the link at the bottom of your page to get involved. This election is about who we want to be as a country. Joe and I are counting on you. And let's not listen to the polls or the pundits, because we know this election is going to be close. So make a plan, vote, and volunteer. Because when we vote, things change. When we vote, we win. So let's do this, America. Thank you, and take care.
Boy, George, I didn't know she was going to mention her mom and your friendship with her mom. So that's gotta have hit the little heart.
It completely did. I know she was going to do that, but I mean, her mom was just so sweet, and we'd be holding hands, and she'd be telling me stories about when she was growing up and raising the kids and stuff. And I've seen some pictures online of them, and when someone leaves, you can still keep them in your lives and honor them. And I think I'm going to make a donation in memory of her mother. And if anybody's out there, my grandmother was very political as well. So, even so close to Day of the Dead, a holiday that Latinos really love, let's remember the people who have gone and what they stood for. And let's donate to Joe and Kamala and the Democrats so we can really push this whole thing over the top November 3rd.
And so our next guest is somebody who is like a sister to me, and I don't mean a sister act sister, I mean like a real sister. And actually, it's funny that you just mentioned your mom, because I know how much her mom meant to her and how much she misses her. And one of the things that endears me so much to both Joe and Kamala is how much they talk about their mom, and they quote their moms and the lessons they learned from their mom. And I've got to tell you, I hear that from Whoopi Goldberg all the time. My mom used to say. And so we got we had the first African-American, the first Black male EGOT on John Legend a little bit ago. But let me tell you who got there first. Wow. Whoopi Goldberg is the first EGOT, the first woman EGOT. And with that, bienvenida, Whoopi. Whoop.
Hello. Hi, baby. You sound great. You look good. It's wonderful to hear everything George is saying about Kamala's mom and family and all this kind of thing. And so I just wanted to put my 2 cents in here while we have a minute to say, thanks for everything you all are doing, because without people coming and donating, this would be a much harder process, because this election really is, people keep saying it's the most important of our lifetime, and it is. And I'm just going to do everything I can to get out the vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. It's just important for us to shift courses. It is important for us to take a minute for this correction, which we desperately need, which has given us real insight into how we actually want to live. I think a lot of people, after being inside with COVID and figuring out, who am I? What do I want to be as an American? Well, you can explain to people when you go and vote who you want to be as an American, how you want to be seen, how you want to be respected, how you want to put your vote in. Because this is our right. This is a thing that, changes us from lots of different countries. We are different from a lot of people because of the way that we vote. And everyone out there, this vote that you have the ability to do, don't waste it, because people fought for years for the ability to vote, because people said, hey, you can't because of the color of your skin. See, that's not the America anybody wants to live in anymore. That's why you need to get out and vote and make sure that you mark Joe Biden and Kamala Harris here. And it's going to be close. We know that. So you can't leave anything to chance. But I do encourage everyone within the sound of my voice to look in the mirror and decide who you are and then go out and vote. Now, I'm also very excited to hear this next performance because it's a new song created for today's concert, and it's called Change, and it's performed by Jermaine Dupri, Neo, and Jonta Austin. And they are doing this with the Detroit Youth Choir. And it's time to be inspired and motivated and determined. And people of all colors, all races, what we need to do right now is show who America is. We hope that you will get out and vote, and I hope that you enjoy this next performance of Change.
These are tough times we live in, but still we can't just give in. We must stand tall and live strong. It's up to the youth to live on.
And carry this torch we pass down. You see, I know it's not the last round. In the next generation, my faith is unwavering.
My confidence in you is unshakable, because I know that you're willing and far beyond capable of doing all that must be done. But to do it all, we must be as one.
Life can be better than most of us dream.
Yeah.
So once you take the reins, believe in your greatness which lies within.
And for the better, this world will change.
I see that you want it. I see that you're working for it. So don't take no days off. It's gonna pay off. I see that you love it. I want you to know that before you can see it, you gotta believe it.
You're the generation of tomorrow.
The pursuit starts today, and all time is borrowed. So you have learned the ways.
You are not. Oh, I repeat, you are not. Put on the search to lose. And you are hot. Yeah, I repeat it, that you are hot. So do what you do.
And we gon' do it big. We gon' make a scene. We gon' take the doubters, make them all believe. We gon' be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. We can have the world, we can have it all. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We can be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. Oh no no, I see that it's in your heart. I see that it's in your heart. I feel it, I feel your desire.
It only takes one spark. It only takes one spark to set it on fire.
You're the generation of tomorrow, but the work starts today.
And all time is borrowed, so there's no time to wait.
You and I, yeah, I repeat, you and I, put on this earth to lose. And you are hot, yeah, I repeat it, you are hot, so do what you do. Yeah. And we gon' do it big, we gon' make a scene. We gon' take the dollars, make them all believe. We gon' be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking ours, chasing legend status. We can have the world, we can have it all. Nothing is too big, nothing is too small. We can be the change that we wanna see. We're not taking average, chasing legend status. Let's go.
You can have anything you want, but know the work must still be done. And the power to change the world is in your hands. Just believe that you can. What is a dream without action? Nothing but a reason to stay asleep. You gotta wake up, make a decision. Life is for the living and it's yours, but you gotta go get it. Oh, we gon' do it big.
stop us now. No.
That was wonderful.
Right? Amazing performance. Incredible. You know, this show might not ever go away. Our next presenter was on Arrested Development and Gossip Girl Social Network. The man from U.N.C.L.E. did voiceover cars. Let's welcome in Armie Hammer. Armie.
What's up, George? Hi, Anna. How are you guys doing?
How are you?
You know, I wanted to ask you because you played Marty, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's husband in the movie. How was that experience? How was doing that?
You know what, man? It was great. We got to spend some time in DC. We got to go see the justice in her private chambers. We got to have like meals with her, and we really were just given access to such a special woman who did so much to change the landscape of the world that we live in now, especially for women. Just to get to kind of like brush up against history like that felt really cool, and it felt like a very special thing that we got to be a part of.
You know, we were talking about that. It might not be the easiest thing to have a partner that is powerful, because that person has to kind of keep their own identity, or else they if that relationship doesn't work, they lose themselves, right?
Right. Yeah. But the interesting thing about at least what we saw from Marty and the justice's relationship is that he understood exactly how important it was what she was doing. And he understood that he needed to facilitate her doing that. If that meant him taking on gender roles that were not normally prescribed in the 1950s and 60s and 70s, then he was going to do it because he believed in his wife. So I think it was like a really beautifully symbiotic relationship between the two of them.
After spending time with her, what has her loss meant to you?
You know, I mean, I don't really know that it's my place to say, because there are people who are feeling the loss in a lot more of an intense way than I was. Like, I was lucky enough to meet her and spend time with her, but really, like, the loss that I noticed more than anything is just the loss to the world of having someone like that sitting on the Supreme Court bench, and also, you know, now in this really tumultuous time, having an opportunity for them to just completely load the bench however they want, which is a scary thing.
Yeah. That is frightening. I mean, you know, the latest nominee has been a judge for 3.5 years, and before you had to have tenure, you had to put in your time and things. And it's just, you know, we're gonna need to change that.
I had to have a driver's license more than 3.5 years before I could rent a car. Like, why is this woman going on the Supreme Court?
You've got to be a resident for 5 years to become a U.S. citizen. But listen, it's look. To the winner go the spoils. To the winner go the spoils. And naming the Supreme Court justices is part of those spoils. And so there were a lot of people who chose not to vote 4 years ago. And we are now living the consequences of people not voting, or people deciding to cast a protest vote and write somebody in. And so, look, it's a binary choice what we're facing in 9 days, 8 days. And if you want there to be a change in the courts, because it's not just the Supreme Court, it's the courts all the way down. If you want there to be a change, you've got one job: vote for Joe Biden and make him the next president of the United States.
Well, you know, so a lot of the remarks on Facebook and all that, people are loving the show and the performances and the special guests. But also, this is about donations to, you know, Kamala and Joe and to the Democrats, and helping them get past the finish line. So, Anna, tell them how people can still donate money.
Go to joebiden.com, make a donation, go to the merchandise store, sign up to volunteer, joebiden.com, and you can make a donation right there. And really, the average donation to Joe Biden has been $49. It doesn't matter if it's $1 or $5 or $10. Give what you can, but make that donation and make it now, because money matters. In politics, money matters. Being able to be on the air and pay for ads matters. So please donate.
Well said. Hey, Armie, it's good to see you, brother. You look great. Can you introduce our next performance, please?
Oh, man, I would love to, because this is also one of the first concerts that I went to when I moved back to LA. So coming up next, we have a performance from the Foo Fighters, a group of musicians who are longtime advocates for social change. I mean, I still remember the incredible performance they gave at the DNC in 2012. So with special performance of times like these, please welcome the Grammy Award-winning rock band, the Foo Fighters.
I'm a one-way motorway. I'm a road that drives away, follows you back home. And I'm a street light shining. I'm a white light blinding bright, burning off and on. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. I'm a new day rising. I'm a brand new sky to hang the stars upon tonight. But I'm a little divided. Do I stay or run away? Leave it all behind. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again. It's times like these you learn to live again. It's times like these you give and give again. It's times like these you learn to love again. It's times like these, time and time again.
How was that? Arnie? Amazing, huh?
I mean, it's almost as good as being there, except not even close enough. We got to get this COVID situation handled because I miss live music so much. But we have something else coming up next. We have an exclusive performance by an international pop icon, an activist, a philanthropist, and a mother singing one of her biggest hits about those of us who feel unheard and forgotten, reminding us that there are billions of beautiful hearts. Here is Pink.
Well done.
Hey everybody. Election Day is just a few days away. Tens of millions of Americans, including myself, have already cast their ballots. And thanks to so many of you, we are this close to electing Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and setting a new course for our country. So to those of you who have already cast your ballot and made your voice heard, thank you for being one of the first voters to move our country forward. And to those of you who haven't yet voted, know that you have time, but you have to make your plan to vote now. In-person early voting is happening across the country right now. And of course, polling places will be open all day on Election Day, November 3rd. So if you haven't voted yet, go to iwillvote.com right now. Look up your early vote location or your Election Day polling place. Figure out what time you're going to vote, how you'll get to the polls, and then when the time comes, mask up and make your voice heard. I cannot begin to tell you what's at stake in this election. Our health care, our jobs, our civil rights, our climate, our democracy, our future. They're all on the ballot. I'm supporting Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because we need decent, compassionate, committed leadership in the White House. We need an administration that puts working people first, that cares about the world we leave to future generations, and that will set an example to the world that we can all be proud of. We need leadership that understands that no matter what we look like or how much money we've got, we are all Americans. And we deserve a president who brings us together and fights for all of us. So you've got to vote. We all have to. As Joe always says, we are in the fight for the soul of this nation. And here's the thing, because of you, because of us, we are going to win that fight. If you've already voted, sign up for a volunteer shift to get your neighbors out to vote. And if you haven't voted yet, go to iwillvote.com and make a plan to vote right now. Please join us. Text JOIN to 30330 and let's win this election together. Searchlights we can see in the dark. We're rockets pointed up at the stars. We are billions of beautiful hearts. And you sold us down the river too far. What about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? What about us? What about all the broken happy ever after? What about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? What about love? What about trust? What about us? We are problems that want to be solved. We are children who need to be loved. We were willing, we came when you called. Man, you fooled us. Enough is enough. Oh, what about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? So what about us? What about all the broken happy ever afters? Oh, what about us? What about all the plans that ended in disaster? Oh, what about love? What about trust? What about us? Sticks and stones, they may break these bones, but then I'll be ready. Are you ready? It's the start of us waking up. Come on, are you ready?
about us? What about us? What about us? What about us? What about us?
Recently, I revisited our song, Where's the Love? And married it to what's going on in the world right now. And what's happening in the world right now, you would think that everyone forgot to love. We've been so divided, polarized by our individual perspective that has been fed to us by social platforms. Reinforced our bigotry, reinforced our narrow-mindedness, reinforced our hate. And the world has been separated. America has been separated. Our song with Joe Biden's speech and all the inequalities that are happening in America to remind people that it doesn't have to be that way. Love, and I know that sounds so kumbaya, but love is powerful. We've come this far because of it. There's no need to go backwards. We know what that looks like.
Left us with this wisdom. Give people light, and they will find the way. Give people light. Those are words for our time. Just a week ago yesterday was the third anniversary of the events in Charlottesville. Close your eyes. Remember what you saw on television. Remember seeing those neo-Nazis. Remember seeing those Klansmen coming out of fields with lighted torches, veins bulging, spewing the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s. Remember the violent clash that ensued between those spreading hate and those with the courage to stand against it. And remember what the president said when asked? He said there were, quote, very fine people on both sides. It was a wake-up call for us as a country. And for me, a call to action.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? And would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us. Send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning. Where is the love?
What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring the trauma. Overseas, yeah, we trying to stop terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA, the KKK. I can't believe they still hating blacks today. Cause if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate. And to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Yeah, madness is what you demonstrate. And that's exactly how hate works and operates. Man, you gotta have love to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach? And would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us. Send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning. Where is the love? The love. Where is the love? The love. The love. The love. Where is the love? The love. The love.
So the question for us is simple. Are we ready? I believe we are. We must be. We can choose a path of becoming angrier, less hopeful, more divided, a path of shadow and suspicion, or we can choose a different path and together take this chance to heal, to reform, to unite, a path of hope and light. This is a life-changing election. This will determine what America is going to look like for a long, long time.
Yes, it
Character is on the ballot. Compassion is on the ballot. Decency, science, democracy.
Yeah.
They're all on the ballot. who we are as a nation, what we stand for, and most importantly, who we want to be. That's all on the ballot. And the choice could not be more clear.
I think it's amazing that we end that thing that says vote and it says love, because speaking of love, the Facebook, Joe Biden's Facebook is blowing up and everybody's loving the show. And everybody is, I think that we've made a star tonight. The sign language woman has become a star tonight.
So, I got to tell you this sign language interpreter story. One time I'm giving a speech, I think it was at the University of Chicago or a university. And I'm talking, I'm giving a political talk, and all of a sudden I turn around and I realize, do you know what the sign language for Trump is?
I don't. What is it? Oh.
I kid you not. I am not making this up. Every time I would say Trump, the woman would go like this.
That's hilarious.
Anyways.
Who's going? Me and you and Anna and who else? Well, All
right. With that, we are going to introduce some great guys, okay? With great hair. So we're going to welcome the guys from Queer Eye. With us are going to be Bobby and Karamo and Tan, Anthony and Jonathan. Are you guys here? You guys with us?
Hey, we're here.
Beautiful.
So nice to see you. Thanks for having us.
Oh, I have a question to ask you.
Sure.
Before we move on, I want to know, have any of you ever been able to deduct $70,000 for hair from your taxes?
No.
Jonathan, to you.
No. My hair is beautiful enough to probably have asked to deduct that much, but no.
My friend shaved mine, so I can't speak to that, unfortunately.
No, I mean, and I've had to pay to get the hair that I have, and I still get
Hey, you know what? I met a guy that was receding in junior high. When, if I may ask, it'd be so personal. When did you feel like you started to lose your hair?
Probably early to mid 20s. Yeah, maybe a little bit earlier than that, actually. Yeah, but she's back.
Oh no, she's back and she's good. She's looking good.
With the cap, fully bald. Thank you.
And you're stunning,
that's a big deal too. Is to shave your head completely bald.
Yeah. Hey, if I had the beautifully shaped head that Karamo did, I would have done the same thing.
So guys, I have a question for each of you. Hi, Karamo. I love you. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Haven't seen you in a while.
Have you voted? And if you haven't, tell me what your plan to vote is, and how do we tell folks to get out and vote?
So I've already voted. I voted absentee ballot in California, dropped my ballot off at the official ballot box. And yeah, I did that a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
I haven't voted yet. I'm taking my youngest son, and right now we have 19 of his friends signed up, and we're taking them on the day. I'm taking them on the day to stand in line with them. A lot of them were first-time voters. They were apathetic. They were like, no, I don't want to vote. And now they're into it. They're voting for Biden and Harris. And so that's what I'll be doing.
I live in the great state of Utah, and therefore I was allowed to get a mail-in ballot. I requested mine a few weeks ago. I finally received it last week, and it made me so proud to be able to drop it off in the ballot box. It was the first time I got to vote in America as a new citizen, so I'm so proud.
That's amazing, Dan. I'm one step behind Tanny. I'm actually still a Canadian citizen. So every conversation that I have with a friend who's American, I ask them how they're doing, and then I ask them what their voting plan is.
That's
you know
good,
what, though? We all need a
Anthony.
Canadian friend in the event we have to take refuge.
Exactly.
In the event we need political asylum, we're all going to come to your house.
Canadians are the best. I like the currency. Like when you go to Canada, they're like, oh, well, how much is it in Canadian? And when I was still drinking, and I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was high, and I said, what's that in Canadian?
A loonie.
A loonie and a toonie, actually, real words for the currency we have.
I thought people were joking when I was there, and they said the money was loonie. I'm like, well, it is kind of crazy. They're like, no, it's called loonies.
So how about you, Jonathan? What's your voting plan?
I voted early on Thursday in person. I had one of those
state
things that happen when I ordered my absentee ballot and then it never came to where I was going to be. I just arrived to New York, and so my ballot never came to vote absentee. So it was one of those, like, I was reading in the news so much about the Postal Service, and I was like, well, that probably won't happen to me. And then it did. So then I had to cancel my ballot, which was kind of a whole situation. So I got it canceled at the election board. And then I took in my gorgeous little cancellation form and my ID, and I went into the little baby polling station. And I was like, I would like to vote in person and not provisionally. And so that's what I did. And so
nothing was going to stop you.
That's what I did. I was literally like talking about hanging chads and freaking everyone out. I was like, I'm old enough to remember the hanging chads, and I am not. I will not make a provisional ballot.
The only thing worse than the hanging chads were the pregnant chads. Remember that?
I don't have time for it. And if you have to do a provisional ballot, it's fine. But that was not my truth for the 2020 election, and I had to get it in. So that's what I did.
Well, wait, George, didn't you have a question you wanted to ask the guys?
I think we use hashtag baby polling places as the future hashtag between now and election day.
But didn't you have a question you wanted to ask the guys before we move on?
I'm a 59-year-old Chicano. This isn't bad hair for a 59-year-old Chicano, guys, right?
No, that is amazing.
Beautiful hair for anybody.
Yeah.
Well,
George, I think you could do what Tony's done with his hair.
I don't know.
I'll show you how to do that with like more product.
I'll show you how, George.
I would love that. George, show me how, please.
It's almost there.
Also, George, I'd love to talk more about your hair, but I hear you've got a question for us.
That's it. Who do you guys think has the prestige and the career and is capable of closing such a fantastic show like we've had tonight?
No, wait, they're going to give us clues. You guys are going to give us clues as to who our last performers.
They don't know.
George, from what I hear, she sold over 100 million albums, which has made her one of the best-selling artists of all time.
To mention Bobby, she's also the only artist with a #1 single in 6 consecutive decades, from 1960 to 2010, iconic status.
Okay, and she was also campaigning for Joe Biden in Nevada and Arizona.
And like my rescue dog, Neon, except Neon isn't an actual person, she is an anonymous person, which is a word I literally just learned about 3 days ago. It means that it is a person who goes by one single name.
That's amazing. And we both have... Typically, we both have center parts and amazing hair. Not to say that about myself, but it's true. And her too. So have you figured it out? Performing a special rendition of Happiness is a Thing Called Joe, which she wrote specifically for tonight. All of us together now. Share! Share! Yay!
It seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. He's got a smile that makes the lilacs wanna grow. He's got a way that makes the angels heave a sigh when they know President Joe's passing by. Right now our country's gloomy, fear is in the air. But when Joe's president, hope is everywhere. That's all we need to know. Seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. Sometimes there seems no end to misery and despair. But when Joe smiles at us, compassion fills the air. Troubles fly away and life is easy flow. Joe will keep us safe. That's all we need to know. Seems like happiness is just a thing called Joe. President Joe, President Joe, President Joe.
Thank you. Muchas gracias. Obrigado. Merci. Todo, whatever language you want. Thank you for joining us tonight. George, I've had a great time, as I always do, hanging out with you.
I love you, Anna. I got my man, Tony Canal, 25-year anniversary of Tragic Kingdom. Hey, go and donate to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all the Democrats, and let's push this thing through. We're doing a little shot here.
Remember, you can go to the merchandise store, get a fly swatter, get a hat, get a mug, get anything. You can go donate. You can sign up to volunteer. Text POLLS, POLLS, to 30330, or go to iwillvote.com to get your information. But the important thing is, please, please, please vote. We get a chance every 4 years. This is our chance to make our voices heard. This is our chance to end this nightmare. And let me tell you something, to quote Miss Cher, if we could turn back time,
yeah,
we should have never elected this person who has led us down a very dark path in America. Let's make it a brighter future. I love you, George.
We'll see you. Good night.
Good night, my brother. Make sure.
Times have changed. The less I say,